Okay, speaking of
Great.
kayfabe, Impact Wrestling. Let's get into some wrestling here. So Under Siege, um, where were they? Canada, yeah. Ontario, what? So pay-per-view kicks off. There's so as a mark, my first notes, there's no unique stage or ring or anything. I noticed they got a fresh mat. I'm a guy who likes stage designs and ropes because I'm a mark. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyways, pre-show or pay-per-view. I watched the pre-show to this as well. So the Death Dolls took on the Coven in a non-title match. Did you check this out, Hairline, or did you miss the pre-show?
I skipped the pre-show.
No,
Sorry, TNA.
that's
Impact, whatever.
I'm sure Anthem's pissed. They're gonna write us a letter. Um,
Got them Orford.
yeah, I'm sure he's hot about it. Oh, we'll get to that later. So I wrote, usually pre-shows are just filled with matches, I guess. But this one's no different, but it's only a half hour long, so that's good. Courtney Rush and Jessica got a win over the tag champs in what was a good, solid match. And I like this match. The Coven was great in it, and Kylan King can't say enough great things. Hairline didn't see it, so we'll move along. Perazzo Grace package. This was fucking great. I love this. Got me hyped for their match later, which we'll talk about Impact Women's Wrestling or Knockouts, whatever you want to call it. We'll blow it to death during the show. So on the pre-show, I believe still it was the Joe Hendry versus Dirty Dango match. Did you catch this?
Nope.
So this is on the pre-show,
I
man.
would've. I
Yeah,
wish I would have. I
goddamn.
fucked up. Dirty
Uh,
Dongo's great.
yeah,
I
dude.
think he's part.
Oh my god, bro, you would have popped for this. You would have popped for this match too. The work, the psychology, how Dango's just a full blown heel now. He came out in fucking like fighter trunks and like Air Force Ones, and he comes out there and he's like fucking dressed like Hook, and he's dead serious and healing. And Hendry cuts a promo and he's like, whatever, like what gimmick are you gonna come out with this time, huh, Dango? Like what are you gonna do this time? And he comes out with trunks with the old WWF writing, and they say Gratitude Era, and he looks like a prize fighter, and he's like dead serious with like real wrestling music, bro. And I was like, yes, I was like, he just gets it, bro. Dango's so good. Dango comes, and it was like this is what I wrote: no gimmick, serious and ready to fight. And this is what Dango did the whole match. He worked Hendry's body part. He worked his fucking arm, right? He healed out. And then when it looked like it wasn't going his way, he DQ'd himself and attacked the arm after. Santino came out because if you're following the story, Dango attacks Santino. So Santino comes out and they will fight. And I wrote the Gratitude Era has officially begun with tonight. So, anyways, pay per view gets underway. Nick Aldis comes out first. Yeah,
Yes, money.
money. He
Yeah.
looks like $1 million, bro. Like he looks incredible for his age. Legacy Sups, guys. Shout him out. Sponsor our podcast. You guys, Legacy Supplements. That's Nick Aldis's fucking company. Him and Mickey James. I want whatever they're taking, bro. They both look fucking phenomenal. Yeah, they worked a great match. Hairline, give us your thoughts on this match, and obviously Aldis finishes with the tap out with the clover leaf. But this is just a great match. What did you think of it?
What I really liked about this match here, man, is like all this was doing small things like suplexes and whatnot. He was
Yeah,
working smarter, not harder. Um,
always.
to kind of jump around to what I'm saying here, it was like what Paul Heyman said here. You could literally get a headlock over it if it's sold properly. So
Right.
for sure, less is more. You ain't got to do 200 fucking flips, just to get your shit in, brother. But yeah, man, that was the thing about all this series. Him and Kenny were just really working a psychology ring based match and whatnot. And there wasn't a lot of the flippy shit, but there was some dives and whatnot.
Right.
And I really like the power out into the elbow strike and whatnot. There was a lot of good shit like that,
Yeah.
man. And the finish was good again, and the finish was very less is more.
Mm-hmm.
Give Nick Aldis a fucking belt.
Yeah, they will. They will. I love his elbow drop. I love the clover leaf. Everything like you said, he doesn't do much, but what he does expertly. You know. So moving along, Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly are just fighting all over the arena, brawling through the crowd. And I just wrote, they're both so awesome, and I love them both. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, it's like we said on what episode 11, where I said I want more of this. Ask and you shall receive. Here's more of this, man. And
Yeah,
Masha really took some big spills on this one, man. And I I wrote in my notes, this isn't Masha's first time around the chains. But yeah, man, I don't know. Killer Kelly looked really great here, and Masha really just sold the overall brutality of like the carnage. You know what I'm saying? And like just the all out war between these two.
right. And have you seen Killer Kelly's like entrance and music and that whole?
Nah, this is
Uh,
started Impact,
wait,
but I know
wait.
Masha. I love Masha, bro.
Right, right. But I'm telling you, wait till you see Killer Kelly's like whole like her music, and it's not like ooh Bray Wyatt shit. It's just good. Like I don't know. She got over with me the first time I ever saw her on Impact. I went, whoever she is, I was like push her, and it was in a match with Masha, and Masha beat her. So they've just been carrying this on, fighting now. They're just brawling, like they're just getting Killer Kelly over now. I love it. So up next we had a package from the design, and then their entrance. And I think we had a Sammy package too, right? Sammy, like they just recapped kind of, I think, everything. And then we went into,
Having everything before for sure.
yeah. So, which Impact does great. I mean, we've talked about their packages all the time. So their entrance, Sammy and Swan partners, their third man was Jake Christ or Jake Christ.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jake Craig from Circle Six, which is Atticus's shit I was telling you about.
right. I wrote cool, but okay, lol. Didn't pop as hard as I thought I was gonna. But this, so I wrote, this match was a little clunky at certain parts. Like there was a part where like Khan was just egregiously standing there waiting for a dive. Like it was clunky at times, and it wasn't the pinnacle of trios wrestling, but it was like they were trying to tell their story. It was what it was. It wasn't like nonsensical bullshit, but it's just like when you have six dudes in a ring, it's clunky. And when you have like a Sammy Callahan guy and a Rich Swan guy and a fucking Khan guy who's working a WWE style, it's just all fucking all over the place. I feel like a little bit. This wasn't for me, but it wasn't the most egregious, most offensive thing I've seen this weekend. So
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I don't know,
yeah,
man. It was a decent match. Like I like the 3 man spots that Sammy and Jake and Swan had here. Um, and as far as those dives, man, I don't know. I did see there was a few where Khan wasn't exactly selling the dives, which is like decent ring psychology. You know what I'm saying? He's not
right.
breaking his neck for these marks. You know,
There
which is
was
good.
there was one in particular though where Jake Christ. How do you say it exactly? Jake Christ.
Like,
Jake Christ.
yeah, pretty much. Jake
Okay,
Christ,
because
whatever.
that's how. Okay, so either way, my boy Jake, and he was fine. Like I was, he's good. There was one egregious one where Khan was standing there for fucking ever while Jake was getting ready to. Like I don't know if there was like a miscommunication. He was just ready for it way before, and I just went, "Oh shit," But like I'm not shitting on this match though, as far as like if we'll get to it later, but if we rank it in the realm of multi-man matches from this weekend, this one I forgot about because it was the least offensive to my taste.
It had a good ending too to keep the
Oh yeah, and
story,
the finish was good. I wrote the finish was good, so
and
um
like they're for sure going to keep this going over into the next week's Impact and whatnot. So
exactly. So Trinity takes on Giselle Shaw. On the last show, I think I was saying Shazza McKenzie. I'm so sorry, but Giselle Shaw. This was a good match. It wasn't as good as Naomi's match with Kylan King, though. Giselle had a few little clunky spots again where it was just like a little mistime shit. But I love her aggression and the way she heals, and she sold her fucking ass off for Trinity. And yeah, these two just didn't have as good a chemistry as Trinity and Kylan King did for whatever reason. But I like Giselle Shaw. I love Trinity, and I love the women's knockout division. I really do, man. Yeah, your thoughts?
I don't know, man. I thought Shaw did a really good job of making Trinity look like an absolute star in this match.
Right.
And I don't know, man. Aiden English was money on commentary the whole time.
The whole event.
Oh yeah. But
Popping
on
me,
this,
dude.
actually, man, just the way he marks out for Shaw and whatnot, and just like, and then I really enjoyed the Starstruck. That's a sick finisher, man. I don't know. I
I
I really Trinity is the girl to lead this division.
right.
In my
And dude, I was gonna say that too. Her finisher, they're keeping it strong. It looks great. It looks like a star. And it's like a believable hold. And I like that that's what she's doing now, you know? Like she's I was she doing that in WWE?
oh my god, honestly, man, I don't even recall. I know she had some of the similar moves. I know she was doing that butt thing.
Yeah, the rear view. I think her and Sasha before they dipped, she was starting to get that submission hold over. And then like her and Sasha would hit them at the same time, right? And Sasha would bank
Oh
statement.
yeah, you are right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
completely.
So anyways, it was but hey, Trinity, just like you said, she's the one. It's like her and Perazzo next, right? It's gotta be. So anyways, next match. ABC versus Mandrews and Webster. I'm calling them Mandrews, but Mark Andrews and Webster. And I wrote another great match. You can tell that their tape shows are where it's at though. Like I don't know, like they obviously can edit them the best for whatever. And I wrote there was a million bad false finishes, just like we talk about every week about like making these false finishes believable. And there was a bunch didn't that weren't believable to me in this one. Maybe not a bunch, but a couple that were egregious enough for me to make note of it. And again, it was just like I don't know, man. Like, I'm not gonna knock any of these guys' work, but this wasn't like my favorite fucking thing here. Okay, so, but it was like a good match, you know. What were your thoughts?
I don't know. I just thought it was funny that these guys had like a fucking title shot their first night there at
That's what
Rose.
that's the shit I don't like, you
Big
know. Like,
time fucking this shit. You know what I'm saying?
so up next we had Sabin versus Trey Miguel. I wrote this was a great match. I'm just not into Miguel for whatever reason. I don't like Sabin as a singles
Yeah.
anymore. I used to back in the day. For whatever reason, I just like him and Shelly together, which we'll get into later. And they're doing a great job elevating Trey. This was a great match. Both guys are tremendous workers. Um, yeah, I don't know. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that really didn't do it for you. I like how they were working submissions pretty much right off the bat, man.
Yeah.
Um, it was a very competitive match in my opinion. Miguel was selling fucking awesome, bro. Um, and it was more of that less is more psychology and whatnot. And I don't know, man. I thought Saban's a lot more savage as a solo competitor. You know what I'm saying? When he's tagging and whatnot, it's very like tactical and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
where in this match he was more of like working body parts and just like being really savage and like I don't know tactical and picking shit apart, man.
Right.
The ending was okay with the fucking the spray paint and whatnot getting ripped away. I don't know, man. I really thought this was gonna be the match that was gonna get Trey a little more over with you, but I guess you're not having it, huh?
It's just not. I just this is why, bro. You ready? Because there's a million guys who have this same match, bro. Like there's a million dudes. Like you got to do like okay, what's different between Trey Miguel and Action Andretti? Tell me.
I I haven't seen an action Andretti match,
Okay,
but I
yeah, I just don't. There's just too many guys where like, it's. I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on him at all. I like his work and he sells great, and I'm not even shitting on him. People need to stop doing spray paint shit though. Maybe he was doing it first, but you got to stop doing it. Even my girl social
at least,
outcast, like,
at least the spray paint got like worked into the match and whatnot. I don't
yeah,
know,
yeah,
man. I like this match. I thought it was good.
good. Yeah, I wrote it was a good match. I wrote it was solid work elevating Trey. Up next was a 6 man.
800 years of
So who's all in this match? Tell me. Let's go through it. So Moose, Alex Shelley,
Edwards.
Edwards, Kazarian, Yuya, and I'm missing one.
I didn't like this, man.
Huh? Moose
I
is
didn't
who it
really like
was.
this one.
Me neither. So I wrote. I mean, okay. I wrote this match was really all over the place. But any six of these, I wrote. But any six of these guys could win. Like realistically, I did not know who was going to win this one. Out of all the matches on this card, I pretty much predicted the whole fucking card, but this one. but I kind of did predict this one in a different way, which we'll get into. But I wrote any of these guys could win, which is keeping it compelling. I wrote it
Yeah,
was what I wrote. It was what it was. It was just clunk. It just wasn't for me, man. This wasn't like it's almost like their television shows better than their live pay per view. So I just
yeah,
wrote
for sure.
they're gonna get Alex Shelley versus Macklin. I called Kazarian, but we're gonna get Shelley versus Macklin because and Shelley is a legend, and so it's all the things I was saying about Kazarian, right? Like an impact legend, a guy who's won all the belts and did that, and who can make Macklin look good and get him over. Okay, they're doing that same shit with Shelley, so I called it, just the wrong guy. And so Alex Shelley versus Steve Macklin next to elevate Macklin. Yeah, I don't know. That's my notes. What did you make of this match? You said you didn't like it. How did you enjoy Moose?
I didn't enjoy Moose at all. I don't know why you singled him out. Was it Yuya? He was probably the most impressive,
He's
bro.
the
I like
best.
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically Japanese Matt Riddle. I don't know. He is though, man. Like not he's not like a stoner gimmick, but the way he wrestles and moves
Yeah.
around. Yeah, man.
Bro.
No,
No, don't do it. Don't
man.
do it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying here. Obviously, we're jumping ahead to what happens later on with Scott Demore, but like with the machine guns running out, obviously it is for more of that right there. Shelley elevating Macklin. So
Yeah. Up next was Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordan Grace. So I just wrote my notes. It wasn't their best of all of their matches because I've seen them wrestle like 2 or 3 times before this. It was good, but it wasn't their best, man. It almost felt like they were kind of just going through the motions of it again, whatever. Not hating. I put both of these girls over to you so hard, and you know that. But Jordan Grace loses, the Juggernaut loses, and she can no longer challenge for the belt as long as Purrazzo has it. But when Trinity wins it, she's going to have to face the Juggernaut. But yeah, what'd you make of this match?
I enjoyed the false finishes in this. I don't know, man. Like I'm very finicky with a false finish. Sometimes I love them, sometimes I hate them. It depends on how they're being worked and whatnot. And this is a situation where they were working the false finishes nicely.
Yeah, these two
Um,
work well together.
yeah, man, Grace was taken to the limit in this one. It was a decent match. This is like I said, I just started watching Impact again, so this is my first time seeing a lot of these women compared to what you were, similar to what I went through with AEW. So
And like, are you enjoying these women, these knockouts and Impact? Are you thinking like, dude, there's good potential here and they're not fumbling it week to week? That's how I feel. I'm like, they're about to scratch something big. Trinity could open some fucking doors and like, they're not fumbling any of this. None of this is getting me mad. It's
yeah,
like good. You're putting the right people against the right people and making sensible stories out of it. What are your thoughts?
um, yeah, I enjoyed Deanna a lot. And so I like the spooky crap, and then
Mhm.
I like Trinity as far as the women. I'll say this is a lot better than fucking any of the AEW women. I'm, I'm still going with the WWE divas at the moment, or whatever the hell you
Okay.
want.
Okay, and we'll get into them in not too long. So up next, our main event, Macklin versus
Oh,
PCO. And I wrote in my notes first thing I wrote, I know Hairline was popping for a bunch of this shit.
was it Estimate One or what does he call him?
Perfect Creation One.
Okay, word.
Or Pierre Cahoule.
Yeah, I know you wanted to do that, huh?
Yeah. Um,
No,
so
no, 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 no.
I'm not
No.
starting it yet. I'm not starting it this early. We got a lot of show to do today. I'm not starting it that
Oh,
early.
well, why that was what was channeled.
It might come out when we get to the fucking post match Gaga after. It might come out there because Scott Demore, yeah. Yeah.
No, God damn
It
it.
might come out, yeah. Um, but
Anyway,
it was great.
PCO is mad.
So here's the thing, right? I just want to point this out about Impact. What they did so great is for all the weeks leading up to this, they kind of like Macklin was like their through line of the shows. He's appearing once or twice, maybe 3 times a show, wrestles here or there, but he's fucking. They're kind of like featuring the knockout shit like so heavily. But then at the pay per view, the world title's in the main event. You fucking stick around to watch that. But the women's match feels super important too because like this, like, I don't know, man, they do a really good job of like building the week to week show and then formatting the pay-per-view around like what you've been watching on TV. It's like, okay, I don't know. They just do a really good job, man. They don't get enough fucking credit. Anyways,
we give them plenty of credit.
We do, but like the majority of people. So I wrote, I really enjoyed this for how fucking weird it was. I wrote, right. I wrote, like, okay, there's, are we gonna go through all the spots? The staple of the fucking lips was like really, like,
man, that was brutal, bro.
yeah, dude.
My favorite was the steel cookie tray to the skull.
And they're both just bleeding buckets, man. Like,
yeah, dude. I wrote down in my notes Macklin's mocks.
oh man. But like, dude, did Macklin get over with you in this match or what? I'm starting to like him more and more every week.
Macklin heavily got over with me in this match.
Man.
Bro, he for sure did a Mox level blade job though, because it's like he got hit with a cookie tray.
Yeah.
Through the ropes and then just popped up like fucking Crimson Ghost. Oh, right. It's just like Mox show you how to do that, buddy. But man.
And I just love PCO for whatever reason. He's just so over with like, and the fans too. You heard him, bro. Like he's just, great. Yeah, he's working. I don't know. That gimmick works, bro. Like usually Frankensteins and shit piss me off. I'm not joking, bro. Undertaker made it work. Bray Wyatt made it work for me. Matt Hardy made it work in a weird way. But I'm telling you, man, to me, it's like Undertaker and fucking PCO makes it work for me in a way where I'm like, dude, I love this. Like, he just doesn't die.
I don't know if this is necessarily should be in the main event picture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't mean to shit on PCO like that. Obviously, this was just a filler match.
Yeah.
To get Bully Ray back in the picture and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man, I'm not against this, you know. But obviously TNA, I mean, my bad. Impact has a lot of spooky shit. You know, so it's not, you don't have a place for this. I don't know.
And they just did this to really get Macklin over. Like they're building a good, even though he's a heel champ, they're making him look like, okay, he's actually tough. He's actually a hard guy to beat. It's not like fighting him's gonna be an easy run, you know. So he's not a chicken shit heel, bro. He fucking, yeah, he jumps people like a chicken shit, but he goes in there and goes to war, you know?
He's a lot like Bobby Roode.
Yeah. I just wrote, I thought, okay, well, let's get to the afterbirth here, as Jim Cornette would put it. So the finish was as expected, though. I called it. Macklin was going to win. This was just going to make him look like $1 million as far as like a tough guy and whatever. Macklin calls Scott D'Amore out to put the belt on his waist and shake his hand.
Yeah, because D'Amore came out there and started all that shit on Impact.
Right.
You know, it's all like, well, if you win, I will come down there. And it's like, keep your word then. So yeah, I guess I am Team Macklin here. Huh?
Yeah, dude, you're Team Macklin, bro. He comes down. D'Amore comes to put the belt around his waist. He does it, and he tries to shake his hand. Macklin fucking walks away. All of a sudden, from behind, get the tables. Get the table. So Bubba Ray Dudley reappears. Yeah, if you've been watching Impact, he just had like a hardcore war against like Tommy Dreamer's team and all of this stuff. And I guess he's back to exact his revenge on Scott D'Amore. And yeah, he beat his ass up. Macklin came out, or back, not out, but he was already out there, but he came back into the ring. Bully might be aligning with Macklin and his goons now.
Yeah, it would appear.
It would appear, though, even though earlier that like wasn't really an option on the table. PCO, I thought was going to heel turn. Like I legit thought was, but he was just standing there like no selling shit. I guess just started hitting him or whatever. I don't fucking know. And then they put Scott D'Amore through a fucking flaming table. Hairline was like, "What the fuck?" But it's like, but then I was just.
Yeah,
it was like a few weeks ago, like what Bubba already put him through like a regular table. I think he's already done some shit to him. So this was like the taking it to a whole other level type shit. So It wasn't offensive to me. It wasn't just like a flaming table for no reason, even though if you were just tuning into this pay-per-view, you might have been like, what the fuck is going on here? But I just wrote in my last note, I love Impact. Support Impact. So I don't know. I was entertained, man. I liked it.
Impact's definitely firing on all cylinders at the moment. There is some goofy crap. There is some botches. Basically, I think it to full to fucking full circle and bring it back home. They are a little bit better when taped, but obviously,
Yeah.
a live show versus a taped show, yada yada. But
Right.
I don't
Compare
know.
like remember when Heyman was running SmackDown and fucking I think Vince was running Raw or like Bischoff was running Raw and and
Yeah,
Heyman taped SmackDown. He had it taped and it was 2 hours. So him and Michael Cole and Taz would fucking like redub shit. They'd do the commentary. They edited it and it was the best show. Like I don't know if you remember that era, but like Raw was live all the time. And then SmackDown was taped on Tuesday. So SmackDown to me was my favorite show, dude. Eddie, Benoit, Angle, Edge, Ray, Chavo, Brock, Tajiri. That was my shit.
I wrote in my notes. At least they didn't fucking Joey Janela fucking Scott Demore, So
Man. And then how about Aiden English though stepping up and going fucking.
yeah, whatever that was. I don't know why he got worked in, but
Do you know what's
I guess
crazy is that in my head I was like, do you know what's so crazy? As I was watching it, I was like, damn, this is crazy. If I was one of the commentators, if I was like Aiden English, I'd get up and like try and fight Demore. I mean, try and save Demore because like he is the boss. I know you're the heel, but you got to like someone's got to do something. And then literally as I'm thinking that he did it, and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. I was like, I love Impact, dude.
yeah, I did that with AEW. I was all like, well, what about blah blah blah? And then Excalibur goes blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, that was gross.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, oh, I'm thinking like Excalibur, man.
Fuck, you would, dude. Sharing milkshakes. Um.
It would be a banana milkshake.
Oh, you've looked into his
No,
tastes.
me. No, me.
Oh.
Fuck him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you drinking whatever the fuck I want to drink, dog. This is my fucking fantasy mark date.
Yeah. So he's the bitch. You're the butch.
Obviously.
Oh,
What?
okay. Okay.
What?
You're like offended by that. Uh, so what should we do next, Hairline? You want to do Night of Champions or you want to get into Double or Nothing while we're on the topic of Excalibur
No,
and AEW?
don't want to talk about AEW yet. Just give me milkshake.